there isn't a soul that I know of that doesn't respect people's right to be of different religion. We all pretty much basically say, let's just all get along, but that's no longer what society is saying.
Right.
I don't know what this society is, because I don't know people like that. I don't know the bigots and the haters that want to shut you down because you believe something they don't believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But society has, I don't know what it is. What is it? That is,
you know, it's interesting, yes. I'm in the middle of a big project. We had commissioned an independent, large sociological survey of people who are unchurched and de-churched, those who never went and those who used to go. And I'm an evangelical pastor, so I want to figure out why are particularly young people and people in and near cities, especially young men, really not going to church. And we fielded 900,000 phone calls, 72,000 people picked up, boiled it down to 1,000 people who were interviewed by this research firm, one of the largest in the world. And what do you think the number one opposition objection was to Christian faith? What would you guess?
It's judgmental and doesn't have anything to say about me.
Intolerance. Mm-hmm. Intolerance. And then every single issue is intolerance played out in sexuality. So is abortion and gay marriage. Intolerance as played out in politics. I don't want people of faith involved in political affairs. Intolerance as applied to finances. I don't think that churches should get tax breaks or benefits, that clergy should get tax break or benefits. And you can just go through all of the social issues, and it's the issue of intolerance being worked out in various spheres. And so what used to be tolerance was, you know, you and I disagree, but we agree to love one another and talk about it without getting angry about it. The new definition of tolerance is you have to approve of me and endorse me, otherwise you hate me. And that's different.
Right. There's no coexistence in that. You crush the opponent. So there is no tolerance of my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. This is the thing that my daughter went to Fordham University, which I'm glad I didn't spend a dime on. She did it all through scholarship, and I would not have paid for that education, because here's this Catholic university that taught my daughter that the Bible was nonsense, and it was just a bad experience. But she thought for a while that I was intolerant, and I kept saying to her, "Honey, you don't understand. When it comes to gay marriage, for example, I have gay friends, I have gay employees. I don't really care. What you do is what you do. You work that out. That's your life." But I tried to explain to her what this really is about is telling my church what I have to believe. If I am tolerant and say, you do what you want to do, but I get to do what I do. And you can't force me to say that my God says you can be married or not married. You can't force me to do that. She didn't believe me until everything started going through, and then she started seeing the intolerance on the other side. And there's a tremendous opportunity, I think, for Christians, because they lost the war. They lost that. They lost that.
The
war.
Religious right, the moral majority. Everybody put those T-shirts away. Nobody's wearing them.
And that is over. The place you have to protect is the one that wins with 20-somethings, which is tolerance. I'm not trying to shut you up. I'm not trying to do anything to you. Don't do it to me.
I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, really beautiful family. They've got great kids. This is an amazing mom and dad. The kind of people that if something happened to you, you would want people like this to look after your kids. I'm a father of 5. And so they've got their own biological children, and they're also involved in foster care and adoption. And so they had their home study, and in comes the person with the list of questions. I'm in Seattle, where gay marriage is legalized, marijuana is legalized. You know, it's a little different. And one of the questions was, if your child grows up and decides to be gay, are you willing to endorse their lifestyle?
Wait a minute, decides to be gay?
But see, because it's
I know.
It's a menu of options. And so, and this friend of mine, he's trying not to lie. He's Christian, but at the same time, he's hoping to love some kid who needs a dad, because there's a lot of that need. And the person was kind about it and said, well, I understand the position you're in. He's like, I'm a Christian. I believe the Bible. but we would love our child no matter what. But is this going to be a make or break deal for us to even bring a child into our home? And apparently it is. And to me, it's like that doesn't smell very tolerant.
So what are you doing now? What do you? How do you? Let's talk about gay marriage. Where's the line?
Well, yeah, I mean, as of right now, it's become the civil rights issue of this generation. And some would say, you know, pastors shouldn't be involved in politics. I mean, unlike you, I teach the Bible for a living. I'm not particularly political, but there are certain things that are moral, social, cultural, family issues that have political implications.
2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah.
2 + 2 is always 4. It's not political. It's math.
And it has political implications.
Right.
And but the civil rights issue of this generation is now gay marriage. And so it's kind of become the coalescing point for a lot of divergent groups. And to oppose gay marriage is to be put in the same place as those who opposed integration and supported segregation and Jim Crow laws. And that's really the place that we're in, which is a difficult place to be, especially for, let's say, African-American, Bible-believing, evangelical pastors who all of a sudden are being told that their opposition to same-sex marriage makes them bigots. I mean, it's a very complicated day when that becomes the sort of McCarthyistic check mark, so, are you a good or a bad person?
Because we are living in McCarthy times where you say anything, you're a racist, or you're a bigot, or you're a hater for some reason, whatever it is. We are living. Ted, is his name Ted Rall? Tiffany, the cartoonist. He came out and he drew, you know, a sketch of the president, and he's a lefty, but he drew a sketch of the president, but he went against his policies, and the left immediately said to him, you know, you're a racist. You drew that funny picture of you. Why are you making the president look that way? And he's like, are you kidding me? I've been doing this forever. What are you talking about? But he crossed the line. It's McCarthyism. If you suddenly flip sides, if you suddenly want to speak out your own mind, you're no longer in that box. So now the system that he helped create of McCarthyism, of racist and all of that stuff, he's now having the.
Well, that's what's interesting. It's in the name of tolerance, we're experiencing intolerance, and so it puts you in a difficult place when it's, if I disagree with you, I'm intolerant, but if you disagree with me, you're tolerant.